Cohen here, co-producer, co-host of the CineFiles. I'm here with Captain Dan Porsa, fellow contributor to thisisinfamous.com, and we're both covering the Tribeca Film Fest 2014. And Tribeca is a very interesting thing. It was founded in, basically got started in 2002 as a response to 9/11, right? Robert De Niro and some friends and colleagues got together and like, hey, let's bring some money, downtown, since it was economically stagnant for a while. Since then, it's just grown exponentially larger. In fact, a majority of it isn't even in the neighborhood of Tribeca anymore.
I was going to say, we're not even close now. We're in Midtown.
Yeah. We're like Chelsea. This is Chelsea. We're on 23rd Street. Tribeca. What does Tribeca stand for? It's an acronym.
It's it stands for the triangle below Canal Street. All the neighborhoods down there. Soho is south of Houston. Canal Street's another street just even further south of Houston itself, which is sort of where the numbers stop on the streets.
Yeah, it's like you got Canal going all the way down to maybe the ferry, and you kind of ends to the west by Battery Park, and ends to the east by City Hall.
Yeah.
But real estate, the way it's being, they keep redefining the boundaries of what Tribeca is.
Well, the real estate people do, because it's easier to sell places in Tribeca. It's harder to sell them in financial districts.
But for those uninitiated, Tribeca is like a lower part of Manhattan. It's not very far from the business district where all Wall Street is and all that stuff. Hence why it was so close to the epicenter that was the World Trade Center, 9/11, and hence why the Tribeca Film Festival came to be. What do you think of the festival so far? How many films have you seen? You haven't seen as much as I have.
No, I've had a really poor festival, to be quite honest. I've seen about 5 or 6 films so far. I missed out all the early press stuff because I was moving. But it's been quite good. It's quite good. It's an interesting feel to it. It's not too much big name stuff, not too much big budget stuff.
Yeah.
But a really good set of different sorts of things. There's a lot of art house, there's some indie horror things, there's a lot of documentaries, and it's been a good mix.
It's been a fairly good mix. I agree. This is like the one festival where there's no big major announcements, no huge films. There's a time when they premiered the Star Wars movies, the prequels, not the sequels. And even when it comes to the midnight section, where that's where they do all the crazy horror movies and stuff like that. I remember there was a year when they premiered 28 Days Later.
Wow.
And everybody wanted to see that. There was always big buzz surrounding some film premiering at Tribeca Film Festival. That wasn't the case with this year.
Well, the only one I can think of is Jon Favreau's Chef.
Yeah, Chef was one.
We both saw last night, and I can't, off the top of my head, there's nothing big.
The only other one I could think of is the new Roman Polanski film, Venus and Fur, which I saw. Only because it's Roman Polanski. Have you been impressed with what you've seen so far?
I think it's one of those things with a festival. If you try and catch a lot of stuff, you're going to get a real mixed bag, and I've had a wonderfully mixed bag. I've seen some films that have absolutely been terrible. I've seen some really good films, and I've seen some interesting stuff in the middle as well. Joss Whedon's In Your Eyes. Well, I say it's his film. It's not his film. The guy wrote it and he executive produced it, got his script made, but that's it. And somebody else directed it and acted it, and it wasn't a good film. It was really bad.
It was like he just came up with something, they rushed it out. And
it felt really lacking.
Able to do it low budget.
It just really lacked a lot of tension, and that was all in the script. So I think Joss is just too busy to be trying to do other things at the moment. A Norwegian film, In Order of Disappearance as well, which was excellent. A really good thriller with Stellan Skarsgård. It was a nice
take.
You
caught the one I wanted to see, and I just couldn't make those screens. They screened it twice for press, and I missed both screenings.
That was definitely worth catching. That was a really good film.
The Polanski one was very good. That was one of the first ones I saw. The best one I saw this year was this UK prison drama, Startup, which is outstanding. That's the closest a film at the festival has blown me away. It was that good. Really, really good performance by Ben Mendelsohn, who's quickly becoming my favorite working actor right now. This guy can play anything. Anything. But he's not the only good performance in it. A really good documentary on the amazing Randy called An Honest Liar. It's kind of mind-blowing. There's a few surprises in there. They're kind of jaw-dropping and well worth seeing. The film I saw before we were at the Chef screening was The Overnighters, was just picked up by Draft House Film. Really good documentary, very depressing. Very depressing. No happy endings there. And there was a lot of nice little films in between, and the biggest pleasant surprise for me was this indie relationship comedy called The One I Love, which takes sort of the relationship comedy, but kind of puts into a different direction I hadn't seen before. I thought it was very original, very clever. The most disappointing one for me was Night Moves, the latest film by Kelly Reichardt.
Okay.
I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I had that on my thing, and as soon as I heard you said it wasn't any good, I had to drop it for something else because it wasn't.
It's gotten rave reviews at Toronto, and I just don't get it. I just was not impressed with it. It stars Jesse Eisenberg and Dakota Fanning, and it's sort of an environmentalist thriller noir.
Was it like, I mean,
Caper gone wrong kind of film.
Did you catch The East? Because that was a similar sort of concept.
The East was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, The East was better. It's just, if you're familiar with Reichardt's work, a lot of her films don't really have a plot or an arc. It just follows a character, and the stories are in the details. You know, it's the nuances of the character and the dynamic between a character and that environment. Her style, this is, Night Moves is the first film where she actually has a script.
Right.
There's like a twist and all that stuff, and her style just kind of works against it, where you just don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care what happens to the characters. I've been seeing films here since the past 3 weeks. So they have pre-screenings where they have stuff set up in a Tribeca Film Center, which is actually in Tribeca, and that was easy because all you did was sit in the screening room until the next film began, right?
That's the stuff I missed.
Yeah, that was
annoying.
interesting. But the best part is, like, you sit there and you see like fellow film critics sleeping.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I want to read their review. You know?
Well, you do see that though. I've seen guys get up and leave in the middle of a film, and I'm thinking,
yeah, I've seen a bunch of that as well.
I know where you're coming from, but you can't review a film like that.
And I was almost that guy with Overnighters because it was like ending just as chef was beginning. I was like, please, the credits begin so I can like make it to the screening next door. And thank God I didn't have to leave like not knowing what happened in the last 5 minutes or something like that. Have you been to a Tribeca Film Festival screening at all before?
No, this is my first. I mean, I've only been in New York for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's been on like my hit list for a long time, and I've never been able to find the time to come over here and get involved in it. So this is really good to be able to do it this year, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do this.
Yeah, I hadn't been to a Tribeca Film Festival in like 4 or 5 years to any kind of screenings. This is my first time in a while because it's free. So
privileges of
press badges.
Trade, yeah.
What is it? The Chamber's Pass. It entitles us to all press screenings. We can't go to the public screenings, among other things.
It's the low rent press.
Yeah, we're kind of like bottom of the barrel.
We're having to climb our way up. We'll get there.
You know, this is infamous.com. Ain't it cool news? Anyway, so that's basically it. That's our overview of the Tribeca Film Festival. Please check out our reviews. Dan's writing a whole bunch of them. I've written a whole bunch of them. Like This Is Infamous on Facebook. And on top of all else, we got other content there. The CineFiles, obviously my baby.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook. Join our group. Subscribe to This Is Infamous Media on YouTube. There's plenty of other video content. And this is Dan Porsa and Eric Cohen signing off from Tribeca. Bye.